Hello, fabulous Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of January
2015.
General focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, we have the beginning of a focus that actually is not going to be limited to this month, but will extend into next month as well. And that is all this energy building at the very top of your sky. Really important energy at that. So what we have taking place this month, and this is quite rare, it cannot be understood solely in the context of this month, but we've got to talk about what's happening in February as well. Now, of course, I'll be here to talk more about it then. But I'd like you to think of the opportunities, the understandings, the inspirations, the pathways that show up for you now are actually part of a continuing plan that are going to need even more time to be fully actualized. At the very top of your sky, we have Mercury going into shadow, going retro, and going into shadow again over the next 2 months. We also have a new moon happening in this very part of the sky in the second part of the month. Now, what's interesting about this new moon is it is happening at the very beginning of its respective sign. And next month, we have what's called a blue moon. A blue moon is when we have two lunar phenomenons, if you will, in the same sign. So whether it's an additional new moon or an additional full moon, it's very rare to see two new moons back to back, 28 and a half days apart in the same sign and in the same part of the sky. But that's what we have happening for you. With these two new moons, the first this month at the very beginning of its respective sign, next month at the very end of its respective sign in the sign of Aquarius, the very top of your chart, you put this together and it does suggest that for you in particular, opportunity will not only knock once. In fact, chances are there will be an abundance of opportunities, and the universe is going to invite you to really consider and really choose just what it is that you want. I remember a long time ago somebody said to me, when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. And we sometimes think of that in sort of a negative connotation, but there's actually a really positive way to understand that too. When the universe brings blessings, it showers you with blessings. It can seem that there's blessings all around you. Maybe it's your perception that's actually able to acknowledge them. Maybe it is actual opportunity knocking. But that is going to be the case for you starting now. And I think for some Taurians out there, there may be a little bit of a surprise when you realize that the thing you always wanted is not really resonating with what you truly want anymore. Now, the trick here, because we've got Mercury sort of moving around in this part of the sky for you, is to strive to, where you can, sort of delay any kind of lessons or learning or decisions really as much as possible. Not lessons and learning, because that's constant. But what I mean is because we've got Mercury doing this dance in this part of the sky, because we've got two new moons in this part of the sky over the coming 2 months, anything that seems final, any choice you make that seems final might not actually be so. So where you can, leave yourself some wiggle room. Understand there will be more learning to take place, but sometimes there may not be that choice. And that's particularly true smack dab in the middle of the month when we have a very strong sort of alliance taking place, or rather a conversation taking place between Jupiter and Mars. And so when I look at this, Mars at the very top of the sky, Jupiter at the very bottom of your sky, this to me says, for some of you out there, a small percentage of you out there, this can be conflict, okay? Particularly with an understanding of who you want to be and what that actually might be, or what you thought that was. For a small percentage of you, this may play out in terms of, I got to be honest with you, there may be some discord with someone in a position of authority, okay? And that's really to show you what it is that that position or that thing that you're going for, what it is that you believe you want, is actually representative of. So it might not even be that the person does something, but rather that you are able to have a deeper appreciation of the path that you are on, where it could lead, and where it is now that you want to start adjusting course. And for some of you, it's going to be an internal thing. It's going to be facing your own fears, your own resistance, your own attachment to what you thought you wanted before, but now you're changing and you're growing and you realize you want something else. One thing is for sure, though, the universe is abundant. There's lots of opportunities beginning now, continuing on into next month as well. And the universe wants you to know that whatever it is that you believe you're meant to do, however it is that you define your purpose, you can absolutely move yourself in a direction where you feel like you are embodying more and more of it. Trust the beginnings that show up, but leave yourself space for experimentation as well. And I think you'll find that this is a month that begins a process of much success and a sense of achievement as well, that eventually leads you to cultivate that very, very valuable attribute of self-respect.